The Johnsons moved into their new Victorian home, eager for a fresh start. In the dusty attic, they discovered an ornate gilded frame. Inside was a faded family portrait from a bygone era. The parents decided it would look perfect in their long, empty hallway. They hung it proudly, admiring the 5 stern faces staring back. A week passed as they settled into their new life. One morning, Mrs. Johnson paused by the portrait on her way to make coffee. She blinked, rubbed her eyes, and looked again. Where there were once 5 figures, now there were 6. A small child stood between the seated couple, smiling directly at her. Mrs. Johnson stumbled backwards, her heart racing. She called for her husband, her voice shaking. Mr. Johnson rushed over, skeptical at first, but as he gazed at the portrait, his face drained of color. He saw it too, the impossible addition to the painted family. They debated taking it down, but fear kept them from touching it. Instead, they avoided the hallway, taking longer routes through the house. Days crept by, filled with whispered conversations and uneasy glances. Neither could shake the feeling of being watched. A week later, Mrs. Johnson gathered her courage to look again. Her scream echoed through the house as she collapsed to the floor. Mr. Johnson found her trembling, pointing at the portrait with a shaking hand. Where there had been 6 figures, now there were 7. A tall, shadowy form loomed behind the family, faceless and ominous. The Johnsons fled that night, leaving everything behind. The house stood empty for years, stories of the portrait spreading. Curious neighbors peered through windows, but none dared enter, until one day a young couple fell in love with the abandoned Victorian. They moved in, dismissing the local gossip as superstition. In the hallway, they found a dusty frame face down on the floor. "What a shame," the wife said, lifting it carefully. "It's such a beautiful antique. Let's hang it up." Her husband nodded, reaching for a hammer and nail. As they turned the portrait over, both gasped in unison. 8 faces stared back at them, eyes seeming to follow their every move. The couple exchanged nervous glances, debating what to do. In the end, curiosity won out over caution. They hung the portrait, promising to keep a close eye on it. That night, as shadows lengthened and the house creaked, they lay awake. Both wondered what changes morning might bring. And in the hallway, barely visible in the moonlight, something stirred within the frame. A 9th figure began to take shape, brushstrokes appearing from nowhere. The Portro's family grew, silent and watchful, waiting for dawn.